Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Jason Rivera, and today I'm going to talk to you about the JavaScript keyword this. I'm just going to show you a couple examples explaining what this keyword refers to, and hopefully this video will be helpful for you. So first, what I want to do is I want to talk about um, the global scope. So what does global scope mean? So basically, the global scope in this case, we have our console open, and our scope that we're in right now is the global scope. So let's say we create a variable called name, and we name it, so we give it Jason. So this variable was created in the global scope. And so if I create a function, and then let's call it hi, and then I'll do console.log hi. All right, so, or here, on second thought, let me do this. Let me create a variable called name equals Bob. All right, so I created this function called hi, and this function was also created in the global scope. And if we look in here, I have a variable inside this function, and the variable has a value of Bob, and this variable was actually not created in the global scope. It was created in the function scope. So right now, this variable was created in the scope of this function, which is hi. And so I'll get into why I'm talking about this in a second. And so when I create these variables and these functions, what it's actually doing is it's actually taking these variables and functions, and it's actually adding it to the window object. So if we just type window, window would be considered our global scope here. So window is just an object. You can think of it as a regular JavaScript object. And if we just type window, you can see that there is an object with all these properties. And if we look through this, you'll notice that we actually will find, let's see, look, there you go. There's our function that we created hi. So what happened was when we created our function hi, it attached that function to the window object just automatically. So if we look here, we can see that name, and there's our variable that we created, name. So anything we create in this global scope, it'll automatically be attached to the window object. And so let's get rid of this. And so now let's go into the keyword this. So what does this refer to? So let's say I have another function and I call it hello. And let's see. Let's just console.log this. On second thought, let me call this what is this. All right. So what this function does is it will console.log this. So it's going to log out whatever this object is referring to. And so what will this function log out? So this function will actually log out, it'll actually log out the window object. And so why is that? So if you look, when I executed this function right here, you can think of it like as if I was doing this window dot what is this? Because we know that what is this is now a property of the window object. And so the thing here to note is that this keyword, it doesn't get its value until this function is executed. So this, just like that, doesn't have a value. It only gets its value once we execute this function. And since we executed this function right here, what we did was, the first time we did it was like this, but what's actually happening is it's doing window dot what is this. So the this keyword is referring to this window object, because when we executed this function, it was executed by the window object. So you can also think of this trick like anything that's left of the dot of any function execution, any object will be considered the this value for the keyword this. And so that is why we get the window object as the keyword this. And so let's now create a object. Let me clear this out. So now let's say we have an object called person, and do this. All right. So let's say this object has a property called name with the value JSON, and I'll just call this Josh, something different. So I have a property name called a property name with the value Josh, and let's give this a function, and let's see, we'll call it greet, and what this greet function will do is it will console.log a sentence, hello, my name is, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this dot name, and then we'll end it there. And okay. All right. So now we have an object called person, and we have this function called greet, which will console.log hello, my name is this dot name. So what will this dot name refer to? So remember, this does not have a value yet. It'll only get its value once we execute this function greet. And so what's one way we can execute it? Well, like I said before, we can take person dot greet, and if we do that, it's gonna output hello, my name is Josh. So the reason it's doing that is because we're executing greet, and it's being executed by this object, which is person. So right now what it's doing is actually taking this and putting the person object here. So it's doing person dot name, and remember person has a property called name, so that's why this was able to run. So now it's outputting hello, my name is person, or I'm sorry, hello, my name is Josh. So it's doing person.name, which evaluates Josh. And so again, if you can see here, if you look what's left of the dot, that's what the this value, the this keyword will refer to. And yeah, so that's how the this keyword works in these basic examples. And so there's plenty of other examples where it's not this straightforward, but I can make another video for that at a later time. But hopefully you guys got a good understanding of how this keyword works in this setting. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you'd like to see more videos, go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching and have a good day.